Hi, welcome to my channel, Rohit Speaks. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about in a little bit in depth about causes of cancer. I've touched upon in video one of the series of cancer, and this is my third video in that series. So I'm just going to talk a little bit more in depth about causes of cancer and what are the reasons which leads to cancer. So in this slide, you can see there is a snapshot of causative reasons which could lead to cancer, and there are so many of them which you're aware of. One of the most common is the sun exposure, which leads to melanoma or skin cancers. There's poor diet, alcohol, smoking, sedentary lifestyle. There's so many reasons which could lead to cancer, exposure to radiation, accidental exposure to chemicals. There are a lot of those things. But the crux of the matter is what causes it to cancer is the DNA damage. Or there is the cycle where your cells divide. There is a lot of checks and bounds before it goes out of action and leads to cancer. So if any of these checks and balances gets off the radar, they leads to cancer. So one of the reasons is the UV light. So UV light comes from your sun. It is filtered by ozone layer around the earth, but still it comes to you. So a long exposure to sun can lead to your skin cancer, and hence we try to use sunblock or sunscreen so that you don't get UV rays absorbed into your skin. Now, what it does is basically the UV light is pretty strong enough to cause DNA damage or break the strands between the DNA. I can tell you for a fact that you might have heard about optical glue. Those optical glue are liquid, but when you expose UV light, not your visible light, not infrared, just the UV light, and that glue becomes hardened. So UV light has these properties to cause changes in chemical bonds. So long exposure to sun or long exposure could lead to your skin cancer. So that's one of the reasons which leads to melanoma. Other reason is why alcohol can lead to cancer, which is the cancer of your liver or your digestive tract, is because when alcohol is digested, the byproduct of it is an acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is the one which can cause mistakes in DNA, as I said. The causative reason is anything damage to DNA. So acetaldehyde is one of the reasons which can lead to that, and hence causing cancer. So it's not that you have to completely stop, which is much more advisable. But if you like to partake in alcohol, I would advise not that frequently. Once in a while is fine, but I would advise against it. But if you are really want to do it, make sure you're not making a habit of it. The next is smoking, and I'm sure everybody has heard about it. Like smoking leads to cancer, oral cancer, or your esophagus, anywhere. It can lead to cancer. Why? As you can see here, there are a bunch of these compounds. When you smoke, you inhale it, it goes through your lungs, it stays in your lungs. And all of this can lead to cancer. Again, more frequency of smoking, more faster you're gonna lead to cancer. And same goes to not it's the smoking of tobacco. Okay. It's so tobacco smoked or tobacco chewed. Chewing tobacco leads to the same amount of compounds. So try to minimize the amount of tobacco you consume if you want to live healthy. Now, other thing is we need to understand the food, even the food. Nowadays, if you look at the numbers of people who are getting digestive tract diseases or colon cancer, is because of the amount of food or the type of food you consume. Now, there are three sections or three ways the food are divided. Minimally processed are mostly your raw foods, which are in their raw form. Nothing has happened to it. Processed, some kind of frying or some kind of baking has done to it. Ultra processed is when they are added on to preservatives and other chemicals to make sure they have a really long shelf life, which is your fast food, which is your long shelf life, anything in a package, because those have preservatives and chemicals to make sure that they last longer. So I recommend 70% of your diet has to be minimally processed. Rest 30% can be processed or ultra processed. But if you can make your diet 80% minimally processed, 10%, 5% ultra processed, you would live a really long and healthy life. Again, why these processed and ultra processed? Because these have chemicals, oils, which their byproducts are those compounds which will break those DNA and lead to your cancer causing agents. So my whole idea here is to make an awareness that what are the reasons causing cancer besides genetics. Genetics is what is being passed on from your parent to your kids to the next generation. And so those who are suffering from cancer, there is highly likely that kids might be able to pick it up. But if they adjust their surrounding, adjust their environment, adjust their diet, they might surpass that. They might not get into that. And if they avoid it, the next generation will be able to avoid it as well. So it's all on you how you take care of it. Some mutations or some changes, there is no work around it. You are bound to get cancer, but there are some which you can control your environment and avoid cancer. So all in all, try to be healthy, try to consume minimally processed food the most. If you're partaking in alcohol and tobacco consumption, try to minimize it. Try to go in the programs where you try to get away from this habits. Um, so all in all, with this cancer series, I just wanted to make people aware what are the types, what are the cancer, why do you get cancer, what are the reasons which leads to cancer, and then what are the current therapies, and hope you got some idea of what is going on with the cancer in the world. And if you have any more questions or comments, please let me know. And if I need to make another video of anything which you have a burning question about, I can make on that. For the right now, I'll sign off for this series and I'll come back with a new topic in the next week. See you. Bye.